can we request Jutta and Legacy to make the brief introductions? Jutta, are you there?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the LabCoP session. I think Legacy is not at the table right now, so we want to start with introductions. We are waiting for Charles today to possibly join us later. He is in travel, so that's why I'm here to help out with the session. My name is Jutta Lima. I'm with Project ECHO in the United States in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And so I'll help with the technical details here today and walk us through the introductions. So please, Nicholas, who you see is Charles. Maybe you can go next.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm called Dr. Nicholas. I'm in Uganda Central Public Health Laboratories. And like Jutta said, Charles will be joining us later, but we shall begin. He's currently in transit. Please, members, you can unmute yourself and introduce yourself. And then after the introduction, we shall hand over to the moderator.
Yes, here, this is the DRC team. My name is Nadine Abiola, and I am the Senior Lab Advisor.
My name is Constantin Kabwe, and I'm the Lab Manager.
Right, this is Levi Vere. I'm with the Association of Public Health Laboratories in Zimbabwe.
Welcome.
Hi, this is Fibian Mangwendes. I'm with Clinton Health Access Initiative, Zimbabwe.
Okay, you're welcome.
Hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Chiedza Mpanguri with the Ministry of Health and Child Care from Zimbabwe.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Yes, we are getting you.
Yes, my name is Mary Mweteni from UNICEF Tanzania.
You're welcome.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, we are getting you.
Yeah, my name is Yalan Soder from JHS-CPSM Ethiopia. And I have also another colleague here in another table. He will introduce myself.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, we are here. We are getting you.
Yeah, my name is Amanuel Tesfauneng from Global Health Supply Chain Procurement and Supply Management Ethiopia. I'm working as a laboratory advisor.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there any other person who has not introduced themselves?
Yes, the Ugandan team is on board.
Yes.
My name is Grace Kushemelera, Quality Assurance.
Okay, you're welcome.
Dr.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Chiedza Mguni with Population Services International, Zimbabwe.
Hello everyone. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Legacy.
Yes, I'm Legacy from the African Society for Laboratory Medicine. Thank you and welcome to this LabCoP session.
Okay. Yeah, Legacy, can you introduce to us the moderator and we continue with the session?
Okay, we have now the Ethiopian team, getting it from the Ethiopian Public Health Association who just joined this session. So is there any country team who hasn't yet introduced himself or herself? Before I introduce to the moderator, Isaac. Bruce?
Hi, Legacy.
in New Mexico.
Thank you, Bruce. Gage? Gage, can you please introduce?
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
This is Gage Casa from ICAP, New York.
Thank you, Gage. Okay, is there anyone from the participating countries who hasn't yet introduced himself or herself? If not, then let me...
Let's return to Uganda team.
Okay.
Only Grace introduced herself, but there was a number of people in the boardroom.
Okay, thank you, Isaac. So before I introduce today's moderator, Isaac, I have one very important announcement to all of you. As all of you may know, we have started using the Slack platform to have an offline communication about what's going on the Lab System Strengthening Community of Practice project. But unfortunately, despite we invited more than 100 people, only few people, like 5 or 7 people, are currently active on using Slack. So we have decided to create a WhatsApp group, which we all think that most people in Africa are, familiar with, better familiar with, and active on using WhatsApp groups. So I would like to kindly ask and request all of you to send your phone number, preferably your mobile phone number, to Charles. This week, later this week, or earlier next week, you will also receive a reminder email from Charles or from me. So I would really like to kindly request you to send to us your mobile phone number so that we could create the WhatsApp group for our future online as well as offline communication. This is a very brief announcement. Then I will I will introduce you Isaac. I will give the floor to Isaac. He is today's moderator. He's based in the US. So he is moderating today's session. He will start by introducing himself, a very brief introduction about his biography, and then followed by summarizing what we discussed last time, very briefly. And then he will invite 5 country teams. These country teams are supposed to present their case presentations. Each country will be given 5 minutes. So I will give the floor to Isaac. Isaac, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, like I said, for that introduction. I am glad to have worked with the Violord and the EID lab in Kampala. And Grace will be sharing the details of the lab. In the interest of time, I won't waste much of it. I would suggest that we go directly on to the current presentations because we are running out of time. Then we can spend a little more time in the discussions, which is really very important because that's where we want to dedicate much time to share experiences and define a way forward. So, like I said, kindly invite the teams to start the presentation. And I kindly encourage everyone to keep within the 5 minutes.
To to present is DRC. So Nadine, the floor is yours. You have 5 minutes to present.
I will present the viral load capacity here in DRC. So we have, next slide, please. We are now working with 8-hour operating, and we are working 5 days a week. But we need to say that now sometimes our labs are working even during the weekend. So the run capacity is, and then we have 7 machines, 6 labs, only 1 lab with the Roche, but this 1 lab has 2 machines, 1 Tacman 48 and 1 Tacman 96. So we don't have a cobas. So for the number of total number of daily run is as seen on the template, and the number of tests per week is also the same. Next. Next slide. We are not working on the 24-hour basis, and we are not working for 6 days a week, so this is not applied for our countries. Here, I want to stay longer here because we have a total capacity of 388,000 tests per year, but we are using only 34,000. So the space time utilization is only 9%, and we are now trying to increase this percent utilization using 2 shifts of staff, and of course increasing the demand creation. Next. Next slide. I think it is all I have. So just to say that we are, yes, so for the main challenges, as I said, very low demand creation, but we organized last month 2 demand creation workshops in Kinshasa and in Lubumbashi. Second stock out. Currently, we are in a huge Abbott reagent stock out, and also poor sample referral system in the remote areas, especially Lualaba, and of course, weak result return. But now we are implementing the viral load electronic system. So we think that next month it will be, it will not be an issue. Frequent equipment maintenance issue, but only with the Abbott platform, because for Roche platform, this is covered by Roche. And long turnaround time, we think that with the electronic system, the long turnaround time will be decreased and will be improved. That's all I have for DRC. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nadine, for your very brief presentation about the performance of viral load testing in DRC. So the next presenter will be the team from Zimbabwe. So, Zimbabwe.
Afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Fine, thank you. My name is Nora from Zimbabwe. I'm taking the call with Sekesai from Zimbabwe also. Our apologies. We had audio issues at the beginning of the call, so we couldn't hear or say anything on the call. So I'm going to take you through our country capacity for viral load testing, beginning with the 8-hour operating capacity, assuming that we are working 5 days a week. In terms of machines, we looked at 2017 data, and we had 8 Abbott machines that were running from around May 2017. We had 7 Roche machines that were running throughout the year from January to December, and we also had 2 BM machines that were running from January to December. So we calculated our yearly capacity for Abbott based on the 8 months that we were operational, and that came up to 238,000 tests. And then for Roche, that came up to 282,000 for the 12 months. And then for Abbott, our total annual capacity came up to 79,680 for BMS. So our total annual capacity for 2017 was 600,000. And then looking at the 24-hour capacity with the same number of machines, our annual capacity for Abbott based on the 8 months was 571,000. And for Roche, it came up to about 677,000. And for BM, it came up to 191,000. So our total annual capacity was around 1,440,000 tests. So looking at
how many labs are sharing these machines? Sorry for interruption.
The machines are in the machines are in they're in 7 labs.
Yeah. Nada. Yes.
Then moving on to our capacity utilization based on the number of tests that were actually done in 2017. For Abbott, for the 8 months, we did a total of 65,230 tests. And for Roche, 311,465 tests. Then for BM, it's 44,748. So the total number of tests came up to 421,443 tests. So this gave us a percentage utilization of 29% if we are assuming 24 hours operational capacity. Then if we are looking at 8 hours of operation in the lab, our percentage utilization came up to about 70. And again, just to note that for Abbott, we used 8 months of operations and 8 months of testing. So in terms of the challenges that we faced, faced on the list, staffing challenges to cover 24-hour shifts. With our current staff complement, we are not able to do 24-hour shifts. Then we also had reagent outages throughout the course of that year at time points. So our testing volumes were not always constant. We had periods where there was no testing because of reagent outages. Then also equipment downtime, and as a result, our testing volumes are not always constant. We also had a new LIMS system, and this still needs optimization so that work can flow much more smoothly throughout the testing system. And then our sample transport still needs to be optimized so that viral load is available to all the patients that actually need it. and then also distribution of sample collection, consumables, and training of healthcare providers on viral load testing. So in brief, I think those are our challenges.
So thank you, the team from Zimbabwe, for your presentation again. So I would like to remind you, all of the participants, please, whenever you have a question for those countries presenting today, please note all your questions down so that we can have a question and answer session later after the presentation is over. So please note down all of your questions. Thank you. So the next presenter will be the team from Tanzania. Tanzania.
Hello, I'm Mary from UNICEF. Colleagues from the Ministry of Health, they should be presenting.
Are they coming?
I'm in the office. I didn't meet them, but apparently they were planning to join. Maybe we proceed with another country and then I check on them.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can proceed to the next presentation. We can come back to Tanzania. If we can't be able to get them at the end, will you please present?
Let me ask them,
okay,
because I'm not a lab person.
Yeah, so we can go to the next presentation from Kenya, Nancy from Kenya. Nicholas, can you please share us the presentation from Kenya?
Okay. Okay.
Nancy, you can proceed now.
Nancy, are you there?
Yeah, I think, again, Nancy, it seems that Nancy is not connected. Is there anyone from the Kenyan team who can present these PowerPoint slides? Rafael Langat from Kenya.
Hello?
Yes, we are getting you.
Yeah, Nancy was supposed to present. Let me just check on her in a few minutes, then I just get back to you right away.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, again, it seems that the Kenyan team is not, yeah, Nancy is not connected. So we can proceed to the Ugandan team.
Hello, hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Nancy will not be able to join. She's in a place where the network is jammed.
Okay.
So I'll be presenting. Yes.
Okay.
So I'll present on behalf of Nancy. I'm Leonard Kingwara from National Public Health Lab. I'll present on viral capacity utilization within Kenya. And the base of the presentation is just to share our experience, our capacity currently, our utilization percentage, and some of the challenges that we experience, and how we manage to get through the challenge. So currently in the country, we have three platforms. We are supporting based on three platforms. We have the Abbott 2000 RT, we have the Roche CAP CTM, and we also have the Cobas C8800. And approximately a day, like for Abbott, we do 2 runs per day. We have 2 runs on CAP CTM, and on Cobas C8800, we have between 8 runs to 12 runs in a day at most. Yeah, and for each of the runs, we have the controls. For Abbott, it's a 96 run, and we have 3 controls within each run. Roche CAP CTM, it has 24 samples, so within 96 runs, we can for the 12 controls, and for the C800, we have 96 runs in one go with 3 controls, but we can make between 8 to 12 runs of CAP CTM. That's the capacity that we have within the country. Yeah, that's the capacity that we have within the country. Next.
Hello, can you please be a little bit closer to the mic? We can't hear you now.
Am I audible? Am I
Yeah,
clear
now
now?
we can hear you. Please go ahead.
As I was saying, within the country, we have 3 platforms. We have Abbott 2000 SPRT, we have the Roche CAP CTM, and we have the Cobas C8800. The number of, we have 20 Abbott CAP CTM equipment, we have 17 Roche CAP CTM equipment, and we have 1 Cobas C8800. Our daily runs, approximately we make, on each Abbott equipment, we make 2 runs approximately per day. And on CAP CTM equipment, we make approximately 8 runs per day on a normal day work shift. And on Cobas C8800, we do approximately between 8 to 10 runs per day on a normal working day. So if you calculate that one, our approximate capacity that we have, like per week. Am I clear?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So if you calculate that one, our number of tests per week on Abbott, it translates to 18,600 per week. On Roche CAP CTM, it translates to 14,280 per week. And then on Cobas C8800, it translates to 7,000. $140 per week. So the CE aspect is running on. Okay. So next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Charles, you can move to the next slide on our utilization. Yeah, so we have a capacity annually of doing 1,935,360 tests. Hello? Am I clear?
Yeah, then now you can proceed to please the challenge. You have less than 1 minute remaining. Can you please wrap up?
Okay, sir. So let's move to next slide then on the challenges. So let's move to the next slide on the challenges. Just you can move to the next
Yeah, the
slide
challenge.
on the challenges.
The slide on the main challenge is already displayed. Can you see those lists of challenges?
Yeah, it seems the Kenyan team is having a technical a connectivity problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can now see the slide of the challenge. We have, as in at the last, we have that management level for the patient file, for the incomplete file, and we are currently working out to ensure that we have remote logging to actually cater for that. There's still inconsistency in filling of the registers and the LRS within our facilities, and that has been caused by we have various forms of various versions, and we are trying to harmonize. There is also an increasing pressure at the devolved function of government. Most counties are demanding that we start to bundle testing lab within that specific county. So there's a demand that we increase the number of testing labs that we have in the country. And I think we are working harmoniously within the technical working group to get the actual need and what each of these testing labs that most counties are demanding. That is that will add to the network. There's also the accuracy of the data on our dashboard, and we do at least monthly review of the dashboard to assure that the data that currently being reflected as the dashboard is accurate.
Thank you, the team from Kenya. I think the time is almost over. Thank you for your presentation. So, do we have a presenter from Uganda? From Uganda, Team Uganda. Charles?
Yes, we are ready.
I also encourage everyone to send in questions on the chat. And then Nicholas, please keep track of the questions on the chat. That will help to save time when we get to the discussions. So whoever has questions, feel free to type them in. Back to the Ugandan team. Please go ahead.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Hi, I'm Grace. I'm presenting on behalf of the Ugandan team here present. Present, we have Dr. Ziwa, Christine Namelin, but they didn't have a chance to introduce themselves, and Dr. Deo and Helen Mansumba. These are all managers at the centralized lab in Kampala. I'll quickly take you through our viral load capacity and current utilization at the centralized lab in Kampala. Next slide, please. So we'll go through the two strategies. So the two strategies that we tried out and tested, implemented, and eventually standardized. These two strategies are the 8-hour operating 7 days a week shift, 5 days a week shift, and then the 24-hour operating 6 days a week. I'd like to inform you that all these two strategies were tried out and standardized, all aiming at ensuring that our efficiency at our lab is over 90% and maintaining our lab turnaround time at less than 4 days. When we look at the current capacity, if our lab is operated within 8 hours, 5 days a week, given the platforms we have the 3 different platforms. All these are under one centralized lab. With the Abbott machines, we have 9 of them, and each of these machines is able to give 2 runs in a shift of 8 hours. Given that each run takes up 93 samples, this gives us a monthly capacity of over 33,000 tests. Then when we get to the Roche CAP CTM, we're able to run 8 runs, each of 21 tests, and this gives us a monthly capacity of over 6,000 tests. And then we have one Cobas 8800, which gives us, we're able to run 16 runs in a shift of 8 hours, and this gives us a monthly capacity of over 29,000 tests. And overall, if we were to run, if the lab, the centralized lab in Kampala was to run 8 hours, 5 days a week, we would only be able to test over 800,000 tests in a year. So given the number of volumes that we receive and what we anticipate to test, we're able to try out the next shift. Next slide, please. Next slide, the 24-hour operating 6 days a week. So that is a shift that we are currently implementing and have standardized it. And within this kind of shift, with the Cobas, with the Abbott machines, we're able to produce 4 runs per day. And this gives us a total of 80,000 tests per month. And then with the Roche CAP CTM, we're able to produce 16 runs in a day. And this gives us a capacity of over 16,000 tests in a month. And of course, with the Cobas 880, this one with the one machine of Cobas 8800, we're able to run about 36 runs. This has all been standardized, and this is calculated on an efficiency of over 90%. We're able to produce over 80,000 test results in a month. So this gives a monthly capacity of over 170,000 tests in a month, and an annual capacity of over 2 million tests in a month. In a year. Next slide, please. The current utilization. Next slide, please.
Next slide.
Next slide. Thank you. The actual capacity utilization, this is presented on data we have put together from March last year to March this year. And one thing I want you to note is if you look at the actual capacity, we have had that actual capacity reduced by 2 months of the volumes that would have come out of the Cobas 880, because we started using the Cobas 8800 in May last year. So the capacity reduces from 2.1 million tests in the 24 hours to 1.9, and then from 800 something, over 800,000 to about 780. So given the actual capacity, with the 24-hour shift that we're able to run, we were able to test over 1.1 million tests last year. And this gives a utilization of about 6.9%. If we were to relate that to the 8-hour shift of testing 1.1 million tests a year, and given the actual capacity, that would put the actual utilization of these machines at 153%. And of course, we know it's not efficient. It's not recommended to run these machines to this kind of level of running. It would overwork the machines, and of course would definitely increase the failure rate. And besides that, it will also increase the lab turnaround time. And like I'd informed you earlier, we did all this optimization and standardization to ensure that we stick to the lab standards that we put in place, 4 days turnaround time and over 90% efficiency. So for us to be able to achieve the 90% efficiency, we are currently running the 24-hour shift. Next slide, please. I would like to share this slide with the teams on the call. How have we been able to attain maximum capacity at 8 hours? And of course, even with the current utilization of the 24 hours, how have we been able to maintain this maximum capacity? One thing that we need to share with the teams, it's not sufficient. It's not, an 8-hour shift introduces a lot of redundancy as the processes are continuous. So within an 8-hour shift, you find the lab shutting down at about 3 because machines cannot do certain processes after say 3, So from about 3 or 2, technologists are in the lab waiting for the machine to complete a certain procedure and then shut down the machine. But with a 24-hour shift, we operate on the principle of continuity, regardless of whether you're around or you're not around. There's always going to be someone to come in and take on the machine from where it stops. So it reduces that whole redundancy that doesn't improve efficiency. And then there's a 24-hour operating lab. One thing you must note, it's very efficient with 3 shifts. We still have people coming in and working within 8 hours. There's no one who works say 24 hours or 16 hours. Everyone still comes in with 8 hours. So the only difference between an 8-hour shift and a 24-hour shift is you have more human resource for 2 more shifts of people running the machines, depending on how many technologists operate machines in your lab. In our lab, we have one technologist operating 2 Abbott machines per shift. So that means with the 9 shifts, with the 9 machines, you only need 4 technologists to operate them for the 2 shifts. And then, of course, with the Cobas 8800, you need 1 person to operate it. Of course, the 24-hour shift doesn't come easily. It has a lot of challenges that we'd like to share with you. Sorry. The main challenges with the 24-hour shift, it requires a steady flow of samples. So at any given time, there should be samples for continuity to be there. And of course, there's a large human resource demand, like I mentioned to you. There's need for, at least for our lab, for an extra 8 people to run the 2 extra shifts. And of course, it also requires a very highly organized workflow and intensive supervision and quality assurance indicators or systems to be able to tap, to be able to monitor our systems. There's less flexibility. Not everyone is willing to work in the night, especially the ladies. So this is also another challenge. However, we are putting in place mechanisms on ensuring that we put in place mitigation measures to ensure that we solve these challenges. Next slide, please. Next slide. So for the large requirement of the more human resource and the inflow, continuous inflow of samples, one thing is that you must appreciate is that our system is centralized, and this guarantees a steady flow of samples at any given point because we are the end point. We don't have samples being distributed across labs, and this has helped us achieve the efficiency that we have set out to achieve. And then about the human resource, us being a centralized lab, we have capacity to train interns and university students on placements. So this has also been able to create some bit of human resource supplement. The training program we have in the lab has been able to cover up some of the gaps we have with the human resource. And then, of course, the other second challenge, which was, the bit of the intensive supervision. One thing you must note is we move like an industrial workflow. Okay, our lab operates like an industry. Not any one person tests a sample from the beginning to the end. There's processes that have been put in place, and these processes have quality checks in place, of which other processes keep checking. So there's checks at any given point, and this has helped us be able to achieve what we need to achieve.
Yeah, can you please wrap up? I think now the time is almost over.
Yes, I'm about to get done. And one thing I also want to note to you is that 50% of all our procedures are basically concentrate more on quality assurance. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide, please. I need to finish.
Yeah, thank you.
I need to finish the challenges, please, and I need to finish the challenges. Can you give me just 1 minute?
That's okay. I think all the participants have your slides so they can see the challenge. So, yeah, thank you very much. Actually, it was a very nice presentation from the Ugandan team. Now, all the 4 countries have already presented. Now it's time for having a question and answer session. We have heard various performance from DRC to the high performance from Uganda. Now the floor is for question and answer session. Isaac, please go ahead for moderating this question and answer session. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you all for the nice presentations. It's really enlightening. I don't know if we should give a chance to the Tanzanian team to.
Yeah, unfortunately, we are running out of time. So let's use the remaining time.
Yeah. So in the interest of time, we can have answers and questions. It looks like all the countries have at least adequate capacities to handle the current volumes that they are receiving. And we also note that except Uganda, all other labs are having their equipment shared amongst several labs. I'm also glad to note that many labs are implementing lab information systems. The question is whether these lab information systems are speaking to one another. And also it's coming from the challenges that the aspect of reagent stockouts and machine maintenance and downtime, which can have an impact on how much you can be able to test in a particular period of time. And that can also have an impact on the turnaround time. So we can now have questions from the different participants. I encourage you to send questions on the chat, then we can be able to summarize them and answer them. But in the meantime, I call you forward with questions that can guide our discussion. The questions should be focused mainly towards how we can optimize our systems in our various countries to maximize capacity utilization.
And maybe as we go into questions, Charles has also joined the call from Togo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Charles,
Nice.
you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. I've enjoyed the presentations. Yeah, thank you.
Isaac, this is Bruce. You have several questions in the chat. You may want to start with those.
Nicholas, can you read through the questions?
Okay.
Okay,
So
just in the interest of time, I can also read some of the questions.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Emmanuel has asked actually a number of questions. One of the questions is to the presenter from Uganda. He is really impressed by your performance, and he has a question. He is saying, how many machines or platforms are you using to run for 24 hours? This is a question to Uganda. And he also asked, do you have any challenge related to machine management? The team from Uganda, you can respond to these 2 questions.
Grace, please, and Tim, can you answer the questions?
Grace? Yeah. Maybe as Grace prepares to answer, someone has asked also a question for the first presentation.
Sorry, we have 9 Abbott machines, 1 Cobas 8800, and then 5 CAP CTM.
Do you have any problem related to machine management? That's the other question forward to Uganda.
Yeah, we have backup.
Come again.
Sorry, my question related to the number of machines is not the total number of machines which is found in your country. Rather, I'm specifically questioning the number of machines per site, so that that specific site perform the test for 24 hours by, rotating one machine in the other if there are multiple machines with that specific site. That's my question.
So we have one centralized lab in Uganda. And that's where all the machines are located.
So in Uganda, all the testing is done in one lab, and all the volumes go to that one lab.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, the other question is from Zmanuel from Ethiopia, and it goes to the first presenter. And he asked that one of the challenges, frequent equipment maintenance. How are you solving it? Is there any related issue that affects the quality of the test process? Then he says, I have faced a significant test process failure related to the equipment management. Yeah, this goes to the first team that presented, DRC.
Okay, here in DRC, we have a frequent equipment maintenance, but that is because, first of all, we have a very poor, reliable electricity. And then we just have a contract with Abbott for the equipment. So that's why you have a lot of problems. But because we have a good EQA with the CDC HQ, we don't, and then we have also a local quality control system in all our labs. We don't have quality issues, and it doesn't affect any quality of our test process. So then we are not, yes, if we face a significant test process failure related to the equipment management, no. That is what I can share with you.
Thank you. Actually, sorry, this is Emmanuel from Ethiopia. I have observed that in some facilities they have, frequent equipment downtime.
Downtime, yeah.
And also, they are facing with a test failure, which means the test process is failed, and they exposed to a repeat test that results with wastage of reagents and even samples. And mainly they are complaining with the machine maintenance and power interruption in Ethiopia. That's why I raised the first question to the first presenter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please go ahead, Charles.
Okay. Yes, it's been quite impressive. I'm seeing we are running out of time. The discussions should not end here, should continue. We have opened up a WhatsApp group. And if you have not gotten a WhatsApp invite, please send your telephone number to me. And in just a matter of hours, you will be on the WhatsApp group. Let us continue the discussions, because this platform is basically to help community members improve their work. So we may not be able to discuss everything. We have about a minute to go, but let us continue the discussion. I saw a question from Fibion from Zimbabwe. we did not put in the statistic for country capacity or country needs. Certainly, yes, we didn't want to make this look very, very heavy for country teams, but we just wanted to look at the resident capacity and how we are using it for now. But the discussion cannot be exhausted right on this 1 hour session. Let us continue the discussion on WhatsApp. Please send in your phone number and we register you, and send all the questions. We will continue the discussion. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe also in the interest of time, we may want to probably summarize and have some points to go with. So it looks like from all the presenters, except Uganda, other labs are having several labs. It's important that we start discussion on how we get to have all these labs talk to each other, especially that countries are implementing lab information systems. That is one way we can get to leverage on the capacities within different labs, distribution of volumes, to get them working. I appreciate the fact that these labs may be under different administrations, funded by different organizations, but we need to start thinking about how we get these labs having some kind of memorandum of understanding on how they are going to be sharing, especially reagents and volumes and maximizing the capacity utilization. You should also note that having many machines in the country only compounds the problem, because you have a high maintenance bill, and also you're going to promote a lot of inefficiency. You're going to require a lot of space for these machines. You're going to have a high demand for engineers. Yeah, so it's important that we maximize the few machines we have in the countries. And one way of doing it is making sure that the labs are talking with each other. They're able to share resources. You may also note that many labs have noted that they've had stockouts, and we have many labs in many in these countries. I do not know whether these labs, when one is having a stockout and a pile of reagents, they are able to share, and the other labs are able to share or rent or borrow reagents from different labs. It's also important to note that we are mainly using the similar platforms. So that should make it easy for labs to really collaborate, because the platforms are common across, especially for the Abbott and the Roche. Any other points we may want to add on this?
Yeah, thank you, Isaac. I think we are almost, we are 2 minutes remaining. So let me make few remarks, just final remarks. Our next session, we will have another session about the viral load test result utilization, which is going to be prepared by the ICAP team at the University, New York, at the Columbia University in New York. So you all are invited for the next session. It's going to be in May. So please join us for the next session in May. That's one important announcement I have. Another one is I will also share the post-meeting feedback. I will send an email to you. So please fill in the post-meeting feedback and send to me your responses at your earliest convenience. Finally, for the next session about test result utilization, we kindly request those countries who feel that they have the best experience about using this viral test result utilization and want to share to other countries, please reach out to me or Charles to share your best experience related to the viral test result utilization. These are the final remarks I have. I would like to thank all of you for joining us in this very important LabCoP Eco session. So thank you all of you again, and I will see you in next month for another session. Thank you.
My phone number is on the chat. My phone number is on the chat. People who want it, get it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you all for attending the meeting.
Okay.
I hope next time we have fewer presentations to dedicate more time to discussion.
Isaac, please initiate a small call. I want to talk to you.